Good day, and welcome to another episode of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. So, the title of this video is Tigray, an independent state. So, could the region of Tigray that is located inside of Ethiopia, situated between Eritrea, the Sudan, Ethiopia, could Tigray become a fully independent nation state? And in this video, we're going to look at the pros, we're going to look at the cons of the feasibility of Tigray becoming a fully independent nation state. So first off, let's look at what is occurring that would lead the people that live inside of Tigray to feel that they must separate from Ethiopia. Well, they are currently engaged in a great civil conflict that is causing great harm to its society. And however this conflict ends, is it possible for Tigray to have a normalized relationship as a region within Ethiopia, especially given its relationship with Amhara? So let's look first at the cons. What would prevent Tigray from becoming a fully independent nation state? Well, obviously, the internal conflict with Ethiopia would first have to resolve. Additionally, and probably even a greater challenge, is the resolution with Eritrea. So both Eritrean troops and Ethiopian troops currently occupy Tigray. Eritrea occupies major towns including Shire, Axum, Adigrat, and much of northern Tigray. Ethiopia occupies the capital, Mekelle, along with the major road routes extending south to Ethiopia. So, is this even an option? Could the people of Tigray eventually, and it would have to be a military defeat on the battlefield of both Ethiopian forces and Eritrean forces? And that's a question that would have to resolve itself, and it is resolving itself as we speak, unfortunately. So let's say that Tigray were to fully achieve independence from Ethiopia and Eritrea. What happens next? It is in a very difficult situation, being situated between Eritrea and Ethiopia. So in terms of being a landlocked country that is situated between two hostile state actors. So as an independent country, it would not have access to the sea, and it would be between two traditionally hostile foes, Eritrea and Ethiopia. It could possibly have a relationship with Sudan, but that would have to be, again, sorted out post-independence. The population of Tigray would be big enough, obviously, to become a nation state. The population probably between 5 and 7 million people, depending on the outcome of this conflict. But those would be the big obstacles that the nation would face. The issue of supplying the nation with needed goods, as it cannot produce all the required goods that the state would need. So it would need trade partners, and that could become a problem because of Ethiopia and Eritrea. And so these are big obstacles that would have to be overcome. The pros. Let's look at the positive outcome of if Tigray became a nation state. Well, I think that would be the biggest relief on the region, specifically with Ethiopia. This ethnic hostility that exists, especially between Amhara and Tigray, would essentially be null and void, and that issue would no longer be a concern, at least for Ethiopia. And the people that reside inside of Tigray would obviously be released from the current tyranny that exists over the land. There is a lot of destruction going on, a lot of crimes against humanity that is occurring, and if that was relieved and it was ended, that would probably be the greatest positive of anything that could occur. Basically an end to the fighting, an end to innocent people's starving, not receiving the needed medication, and obviously people being killed in fighting. Then we have to look at what happens with the relationship with Eritrea. Could the current regime inside of Eritrea fall? One of the major issues that exists between Tigray and Eritrea is the current regime of Afwerki. And if that regime were to fall, the perception of being mortal enemies with Eritrea, I believe, would end. Thus, possibly, Tigray and Eritrea could enter into somewhat of a loose confederation to benefit both states. So you would have peace between Eritrea, you would have the end of the Afwerki despotic government, and you would see a separation of the traditional conflict that existed between Amhara and Tigray. So is that an option? Well, I think it is. I think it is an option, and I think it's quite possibly the best option, even though it would be a tough option in terms of the ability to work out trade partners and the dilemma of being situated between two possible hostile actors, one of which maybe could not become hostile after that regime ended. But I think the long-term effects for the Horn of Africa and the region would be of much greater benefit than the continued forced integration of Tigray with Ethiopia.